Okay, so we are recording, and today we are outside the very large Basilica de Metropolitana de Medellin. So as you can see behind me, we have this huge cathedral, and we are in the center of Medellin today, in El Centro, in the Central Historical District, I believe it's called. El Centro Historico, I believe I've seen some signs saying. So I wanted to do a little bit of recording and just show people what it's like in this beautiful city. Hello, hello. My name is No Soy Gringo, and that's a little play on words. Basically, it means, one, I'm not a gringo because I'm Irish, and as far as I understand the term gringo, it implies lineage from the colonial oppressors of the natives and Creoles of this region. So I sometimes get called gringo because obviously I'm white and I look like what some people understand a gringo might look like, but being Irish, I don't accept that categorization. I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. Hola amigo, tengo no tengo tiempo para hablarte. Gracias. So yeah, as I'm trying to film, people are gonna obviously come and talk to me. And before I get distracted, the second meaning of the channel name No Soy Gringo is basically don't be a bitch, white man, because no soy I take as basically a phytoestrogen filled source of food, and basically it's what bitches who are full of estrogen eat. So I want to not be a pussy, basically, and I want to enjoy my life, and I want to catalogue my travels here in Medellin. And I have lots of people watching me, I know, and that's kind of the point of not being a bitch and not letting this world scare you, because this world is so full of fear pushing, and yes, there is plenty of danger out there, but I want to show the world that you shouldn't live in fear, and that there is a lot to see in the world. There's a lot to explore. There are a lot of beautiful things to see, and if you let fear rule your life, then you're going to miss out on a lot. So I'm just going to show El Parque Bolivar here, which is at the foot of the Basilica, and it's a really beautiful place. So as you can see, lots to see, lots of beautiful stuff in El Parque Bolivar. So I'm gonna walk around a little bit, and we're just gonna see how things are. It's Saturday, it's relatively early, so I think as far as different times of the day, we're safer than we would be if we were later at night. But just look at this beautiful basilica here. It's European style architecture. I can't even imagine how long it took to put this basilica together, and the logistics of getting all the raw materials that you would need to be able to build such a massive cathedral. And bear in mind that we're like 6,000 feet above sea level, in the middle of the jungle, in the middle of the mountains. So getting all that material from whatever quarry, wherever it might be nearby, and putting this beautiful basilica together, it must have taken a very, very long time, and there must have been a lot of very dedicated people working on building this beautiful center of worship, I guess. You know, it's a largely Catholic country. I know there are a lot of people who aren't very religious, but that's how it is in most of the modern world. But I believe the most dominant religious group would be Catholics, which makes me feel right at home as an Irish person, being Catholic myself. I feel there is a lot of similarities between the culture of a lot of South American countries like Colombia and my own beautiful, humble homeland of Ireland. So, here in the middle of El Parque Bolivar, we see a statue of the great Simón Bolívar, the great military leader who led the conquest against the Spanish colonialists, who eventually routed them out of the northern part of the Southern American landmass, I guess. So this man, he was born in Venezuela, but I believe at the time Venezuela would have been part of Gran Colombia. So previously, Venezuela, Colombia, and Ecuador, they were all the same country. And they were under a Spanish colonial command. And Simón Bolívar was the revolutionary leader who, during the time of Spain being occupied by the forces of Napoleon Bonaparte, the Creole resistance movement here formed a number of juntas, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that, and they eventually overthrew the Spanish occupiers, and there was essentially an almost continent-wide civil war where the Creoles and the native South Americans battled against the Spanish colonialists, the Spanish military, the Spanish army, and eventually gained victory across South America. So we have a beautiful park here, El Parque Bolivar. So many beautiful trees. There's such interesting biodiversity in this part of the world as well. I'm from a country with relatively simple biodiversity. We don't have a lot of complexity. I think in Ireland we have maybe 5 different types of trees that are common. You know, you have like oak, sycamore, ash. Here you just have different types of trees and different types of plants everywhere, all very exotic, often flowering throughout the year as well, because here you don't have seasons so much. It's basically 25 degrees most of the time, all year round. And it's perfect weather for me. Me being fairly pale skinned as I am, I don't like it too hot. And so Colombia's temperature is perfect for me. So here we're moving towards La Candelaria. We're in El Centro, so we see a very busy street here. And there is lots going on. So I'm just going to stroll around and try to keep my wits about me. And let's see what's going on here in this busy commercial district of central Medellin. There's really so much to see. So many beautiful flowers, beautiful paintings, arts and crafts, whatever you like. Yeah, there is always so much going on here. It's really, really hustle and bustle all the time. People trying to make money everywhere they can and just being allowed to do it without interference from state power usually. And here we see a pretty dancing girl. Yeah, we have a lot of street performers here in Medellin and a lot of street vendors, which I really like to see because in Ireland business is very restrictive throughout Europe and most of the Western world actually. Business is very, very restrictive and it's difficult for people to earn a living or to start their own business. And here it just seems like people are allowed to do their own thing. They're allowed to just vend on the street and just sell whatever, wherever, whenever. And it seems like they're just allowed to do so, which I really, really love how it's done here. There is just a lot of independent business people and yeah, entrepreneurship really seems to have a home here to flourish. So literally everywhere you see people selling whatever, all different kinds of things. And this is literally everywhere you go around the city center, and it's just city upon city upon city. It's just, Medellin is huge, at least compared to where I'm from, humble Ireland. There's just so much going on here, such a vibrant atmosphere. It seems like this city never sleeps. And compared to back home, there's just so much to do, so much going on, and the cost of living here is like really just a fraction of what it is in Europe. And me being from one of the most expensive countries in Europe, it's really refreshing to come to a country where things are a lot more affordable and you're not getting constantly gouged when you leave the house and when you want to go out and do anything. No gracias, amigo. So yeah, today I just wanted to do a little preliminary scout of the area with the camera and see what's going on and see how people react and see how my microphone works, because this is the first time I've used this mic. I'm familiar with the camcorder, but the microphone is a new tool and I want to just get the hang of all my equipment. Yeah, this is really a massive city. I mean, like, I walk around all day, every day. Uh-oh, I'm getting photobombed here in the background. Hola. Hola. ¿Hablas inglés? No? Okay, okay. Estoy aprendiendo español. Sí, sí, necesito practicar mucho más, mucho más. Okay. Tiene un buen día. Yeah, my Spanish sucks, so I'm still learning. So it's going to take me a while to be able to speak Spanish and not sound like I have some level of mental retardation. But that's fine, that's fine. It's okay, I guess, when you're learning to make mistakes, right? So yeah, the further we go, the busier it gets. Let's see. And I'm like, you know, trying to get a good bird's eye view of the camera while not making too much of a spectacle of myself either, like, you know, like waving my camera around the place. But yeah, the main thing is that I have my wits about me, and I generally tend to. So as I was saying earlier, the whole theme of the No Soy Gringo channel is not to be a bitch. Even if you are a white man traveling through South America and you stand out like this pale, red bearded Irish motherfucker. But yeah, we're here to have fun, we're here to explore, We're here to have a good time. We're here to get to know the country and to document it while we do. So, yeah, that's the point. Look at beautiful Medellin, Colombia.
De Junín. Triunfe el punto alternativo. Saludo a las redes sociales.
So many shops. My God, like, I think, you know, you might think that in Europe things would be more commercialized, then it would be easier to get whatever you want, whenever you want, but here it's just shops everywhere as far as the eye can see in every direction, and then, you know, you go into a shop and they're at least as well stocked as back home usually, you know, unless we're talking about Dublin maybe, or like, I guess the Irish location as far as being connected to international commerce, like we're better for e-commerce, but as far as shopping locally in person here, there's just, you know, whatever you need. Although if you don't speak Spanish very well, finding the right people to ask is maybe not always as easy as you might like. So I'm going to pay a little bit closer attention here as I attempt to cross the road, and hopefully I don't get hit by a car. Ta-doo. But yeah, it's a beautiful day. I love the climate here. Got some fruit for sale. Yeah, I mean, like, every corner of the city, every single street, anything you want. I mean, I think people are a little more chill today and not trying to sell me stuff so aggressively as sometimes, because I have the camera and obviously I'm a little bit distracted. But yeah, sometimes people are really eager to sell you shit, and that can sometimes be a little annoying. Yeah, so just showing the view and what's for sale, what's on offer, and my camera, my microphone, I don't think it's going to pick me up so well if I don't have it pointed at me. So when I'm speaking, I just want the camera on me. See, I have my screen flipped around so I can see myself and what's going on behind me as I speak to the camera, but then when I want to zoom in on something over yonder, it's not so easy. So there's a little market street here that's extra busy, so I'm just going to walk down here and film some of the stuff that's on sale, and I'm just going to shut the hell up for a moment or two. So let's see. Yeah, so let's see what's for sale. Got lots of stuff here. We got socks. Got lots of books here. I should maybe pick up some book in Spanish to help me learn. Got watches here. Perfume, hola amigo. And people are very friendly as always in this country. We got more perfume. And we got supplements. I don't know what those are. No, those are cleaning products. Yeah, here they're very big on supplements. Even more so than last time I was here. We have more socks. Got tools and DIY shit here. Wallets, more supplements, lovely. Yeah, really. Like in this area of the city in El Centro, it's just everywhere you go. There are just street vendors, there are shops that are like bleeding out onto the street, and some of them you don't know if the vendor on the street is associated with the shop or if it's a separate entity entirely. And I'm just going to take a moment here to zoom out, and we're going to see a little bit of the older, more colonial style architecture. Boom. And as well, the older style architecture really gives the city a lot of character, because a lot of places that you might visit wherever in the world, outside of Europe especially, but you know, if you're in Asia or if you're in South America, a lot of places there isn't much ornate architecture. And as a Euro, basically, I feel at home in the presence of ornate architecture. So there is a building, I believe it's a part of the University of Medellin, or one of the universities in Medellin, and the architecture is really beautiful. And I was just, the first time I saw it, I was just standing there staring at it for a good half hour. And it really made me feel at home, because, as I've said, throughout Europe, there is a lot of beautiful stonemasonry, a lot of beautiful cathedrals, a lot of really ancient buildings that are really, really carefully constructed, and you don't see that everywhere in the world. So seeing that sort of stuff here really makes me feel more at home. So yeah, I just want to show a little bit of the area, and we're near like the center of like Candelaria, so I better have my wits about me here, because like some parts of this part of the city are absolutely crazy and absolutely packed with people, and it's chaos, so I need to be careful, but I'll show what it's like.